Now folks, before I let you in on what this video is about, let me give a warning to all the viewers in the UK. If you want to watch this video in the UK, you've got 3 days to do it. That's all. Because in 3 days' time, this idiot, Brian Pop Robson, otherwise known as Paul Pattens, will be crying to YouTube to get it blocked in the UK. You won't be able to see it after 3 days. So what I suggest you do is download it now right away. Then you've got it all the time. However, even after it's blocked, you can still watch it if you've got a VPN number, because you can change your location to South Africa, America, Russia, whatever you like, and you'll be able to watch it. But in the meantime, if you haven't got a VPN, make sure you watch it within the first 3 days, because Paul Pattens will be crying to YouTube, please take this video down in the UK. Okay? Now folks, this video here is a response video to a video put out by Brian Pop Robson, aka Paul Pattens, where he tried to denigrate, ridicule and insult the brilliant expat Taffy. And he's now got a response video back to that video of his. Let's hope you enjoy it. Now folks, the content of this video is regarding a certain discovery by the brilliant expat Taffy 6 or 7 years ago, which is one of the most important pieces of evidence that the Apollo photos were faked and not taken on the moon. That piece of evidence, folks, is the appearance of a little pink flamingo in the footpad of the Apollo 11 LEM as Buzz Aldrin came down the ladder. So folks, what these videos is about is Paul Pattens' Pareidolia, as you can see from the title page. Everything the brilliant expat Taffy has discovered, the anomalies in the photos, this moron claims they are Pareidolia. So what we'll do, we'll go through every one of my discoveries, beginning to end, the last 5-6 years of them, and we'll put them in a video titled Paul Pattens' Pareidolia. And as you can see from the front page of this video, the Pareidolia in this one is the pink flamingo. And here he is. Take a good look at him, folks. That little pink flamingo there that the brilliant expat Taffy discovered 6-7 years ago. Let me say that after discovering that, 2 years after discovering that, 2 years, I done a little bit of snooping on Bertie Slack's channel and went to the discussions there. Now one of the Bertie bunch says, Bertie, what are you going to do about the pink flamingo? So there you are. They had seen it. They know it's there. They had seen it. Bertie's reply was, I'm still working on that. And it was a good 2-3 years later that the first one to try to tackle it was the foul-mouthed bitch, Joan Evans from Down Under. And Paul Pattens is going to try to use Joan Evans' explanation for the pink flamingo in this video of his. Let's take a look at it.
This is a very quick video because I don't think that expat Taffy is deserving of a full video or my time. Taffy believes that he can see whistleblower clues in Apollo 11 and other Apollo images. In this one from Apollo 11, here is Buzz Aldrin at the foot of the LEM, and Taffy thinks he can see a pink flamingo placed there by whistleblowers to draw attention to the Apollo hoax. Nothing can be further from the truth. Taffy sees animals, wily...
Hey, Pattens, like I just showed with the rolling script, What's wrong with the audio? Why have you muted it? It looks like now you're not only against your name being used on YouTube, you're against your photo being used, and now you're against your voice being used. Let me show the audience your soundtrack. Okay, folks, what we've got here is, on the left, you can see the audio for Paul Pattens' music where he is insulting the brilliant expat Taffy. On the right, you can see his audio muted down to 0, where he is supposed to be talking, but for some reason he don't want anyone to hear what he is saying. Now folks, that section of muted audio there, while Paul Patten is zooming down onto the LEM footpad, for some reason he didn't want you to hear it. Maybe it's not his voice, maybe he copied it off some other person's video. Or maybe it is his voice and he doesn't want anyone to hear it. Maybe somebody will recognize his voice as to who he is. But what I can tell you is I managed to just hear it if I turn my volume on my TV monitor right up to 100. And I'll let you know here what he was saying. Okay folks, turning my TV monitor volume right up to maximum, I think I managed to get what Paul Patten is saying in his video, his muted audio. The words of Brian Pop Robson, and he goes on to say, Taffy believes he can see a pink flamingo in the footpad of the Apollo 11 LEM. Nothing can be further from the truth. Taffy sees animals in shadows rather than accept it as pareidolia. Correction, Paul Patten. Not Taffy believes he can see a pink flamingo. Taffy can see a pink flamingo in the footpad of the Apollo 11 LEM. Nothing can be further than from the truth. Well, we'll see, Patten. We'll see who's the bloody idiot. You or me, won't we? And Taffy says he can see animals in shadows rather than accept it as pareidolia. Well, Patten, Taffy can see objects in shadows. As I have proven, shadows are one of the favourite places for the whistleblowers to hide their clues. And here's a very good one coming up, Patten. Let's see if you can explain this. Here you are, Paul Patten. AS11-40-5969. Supposed to be a photo taken by Neil Armstrong from inside the LEM out through the window. And the bottom left corner, the dark area, is what NASA claims as the shadow of Neil Armstrong. Okay, Patten, the shadow. Now let's look at that when we brighten it up, Patten. Wow, look at that, Paul Patten. A black shadow that brightens up to be green. Never been known, impossible. The only one in the whole of the Apollo program. And look at the shape of it, Patten. It's the face or head of either the Hulk or, as another of my subscribers stated, the Mangalore mercenary. Well, what do you think of that, Patten? Yes, the brilliant expat Taffy can see objects or animals or other figures in shadows. Because, Patten, that's one of the favourite places for the whistleblowers to hide their clues. They knew they would not be noticed by an idiot like you. They were put there for somebody brilliant. And so far, it's only the brilliant expat Taffy has discovered these animals and other shapes inside shadows, Patten. Shapes and animals that shouldn't be there. They're there because they are deliberately inserted by the whistleblowers to tell us that photos are fake. Okay, folks, we'll now carry on with this Paul Pattens video and see what else he's got to offer, shall we? Okay, folks, here's Pattens' photo of the footpad of the LEM. Bit dark, isn't it, Paul Patten? Just like Joan Evans? Aren't you willing to show the audience the evidence, or what? Well, what about it, Paul Patten? Would this be what you're looking for? A nice little pink flamingo in the footpad of Buzz Aldrin's lem. And he hasn't got a spacesuit on. And idiots like you think that's on the moon.
Clouds in the sky. Now, if we go back to the previous image, before Buzz reaches the bottom of the steps, and look at the front of his boot, what do we see? Here, Taffy, we are zooming in on Buzz's boot, and you can see a piece of cloth. This is what forms your so-called flamingo, at the bottom of the stairs. If we then go from this image and actually look at an image of the boot, you can almost see your flamingo. Taffy, you're a loony. You're hardly worth my time, but you won't allow people to comment on your videos. You're just blocking them. You're an idiot. Bye.
Well, what do you think of that, folks? Again, another section where Paul Patten seems to be afraid for anyone to hear his voice. What the hell is the point of putting out a video if he's got the voice muted? Well, as I did before, I've got the voice there from turning up the volume on my TV screen, full volume, and I've copied his voice. I've copied what he said, and here it is coming up. Now, if we go back to the previous image before Buzz reaches the bottom of the steps and look at the front of the boot, what do we see? Well, we'll have a look, shall we, Patten? Okay, Patten then goes on to say, see, Taffy, we are zooming in on Buzz's boots, and you can see a piece of cloth. This is what forms your so-called pink flamingo at the bottom of the stairs. We shall see, Patten, we shall see. Paul Patten then goes on to say, if we go from this image and look at a miniature of the boot, we can almost see your pink flamingo. Okay, folks. Paul Patten then finishes with, Taffy, you're a loon. You are hardly worth my time, but you won't allow people to comment on your video, you just keep blocking them. You're an idiot. Bye. There you are, folks. Paul Patten claims he can see the pink flamingo on that boot. And it's pretty obvious what you can see there is a belt, a strap, and it's white. It's not pink. You don't realise, Patten, you've shit in your nest showing that, because I'm going to provide a lot more evidence that I never noticed before. Proof that there's not one Buzz Aldrin coming down the ladder. It's more than one. There's different photos, all just copied and pasted, Bunny. Now, Patten, the next thing you mentioned is about me blocking you. I don't allow you to comment on my videos. But what's the problem? According to you, Bunny, you never watch my videos, you've no interest in, and you don't want to comment on them. And now you're moaning because you're blocked. You don't make sense. It's obvious who's the bloody loon, isn't it? Now, Patten, for 2 years, I've been pestering you. Let's have an amicable face-to-face live debate on the photos. And who's the one who chickened out every time, Patten? It's you. You've said you'll do it on Mr. Sensible's channel with him showing his face and him using his voice, but you haven't got the guts to do it yourself. And you're moaning you're blocked. Okay, Paul Patten, what we'll do now is let me, the brilliant, okay, yes, the brilliant expat Taffy, analyse this photo with this pink flamingo in and put the matter to rest by proving without question that it is a whistleblower's clue inserted with Photoshop to tell us the photo is fake. And like I told you before, Pattern, something I missed out with this one, very often when these whistleblowers put in a clue, they very often put another one nearby to back it. I call it a backup clue. So we can't have idiots like you saying, oh, that's just a coincidence. And Pattern, the brilliant expat Taffy, yes, again, the brilliant expat Taffy has detected this second backup clue, which you'll see coming up now, Pattern. Okay, Pattern, here's what you're looking at here. The photo with Buzz in the bottom rung of the ladder. The number of that photo is AS11-40-5868. Now, what we'll do, Pattern, we'll compare that with the one in the footpad. And here you are, Pattern, we got the next photo, AS11-40-5869, where the flamingo is in the footpad. Okay, Pattern, and take a look at it. Here's the comment from that twat who always used to speak through his astrobrand. Here you are, Pattern. Here's a comment copied from that twat who always used to speak through his astrobrand, where I asked him, can you see the pink flamingo? And here's his reply, no, I didn't spot any flamingo. I'm not schizophrenic. He must be doing too much of the reciprocating action. They say it makes you blind. Okay, folks, what I've done here for you now, I've combined the two photos, the boots. On the left is AS11-40-5868, and on the right, in the footpad, is AS11-40-5869. Now, according to Pattern, this yellow arrow on the left, the object that's pointing to, which could be the belt buckle or the strap buckle, he says it's the same as this arrow on the right, the pink flamingo. We'll take a better look at them, shall we? Okay, Pattern, let's start here. Something I missed the first time around. Before we get on to the pink flamingo, just take a look at the boots. You provided two photos for the boots, and it's obvious they are not the same boots, Pattern. Look at the boot on the left, 5869, the one in the footpad, and look at the pull lift at the back of the boot. That's a little strap to put your finger in to pull your boot up. And as you can see on the one in the footpad, it is white, the same as the suit, Pattern, idiot, moron, twat. And look at the other boot up on the first step of the ladder. It is black. It's the same as the black on the boot, Pattern. You've got two different boots here. Now that confirms what I told you in my previous videos, that all these Buzz Aldrins are copied and pasted onto the ladder and into the footpad. It's not an astronaut coming down the ladder at all. It's a CGI photo with the astronauts copied and pasted in. And I provided loads of evidence for that in the past. And here's some more evidence here. Another thing, the boot on the left is shiny, and the boot on the right is matte black. It's a different boot, Pattern, idiot, moron. Okay, Pattern, let's do some comparisons, shall we? The object on the left, in the footpad of the lem, is pink. And the object on the right, which is a flamingo, is pink. Okay, Pattern, your so-called piece of cloth at the front of the boot is not pink. It is grey, same as the suit. Okay, Pattern, the object on the left, in the footpad of the lem, has got a long neck, The object on the right, which is a pink flamingo, also has a long neck. Okay, Pattern, on your previous photo, the object you claim is a piece of cloth does not have a long neck. Okay, Pattern, the object on the left in the footpad of the limb has a white eye with a black pupil in the centre. And the object on the right, which is a pink flamingo, has a white round eye with a black pupil in the centre. Okay, Pattern, your so-called piece of cloth at the front of the boot, it does not have a round white eye with a black pupil in the centre. Okay, Pattern, the object in the footpad of the limb on the left, this object has a curved down beak. And the object on the right, which is a pink flamingo, has a curved down beak. Now, Pattern, your previous photo showing your piece of cloth, I do not see a curved down beak on it. Now, Pattern, here is what you call your miniature boot. As I've shown you, it's a different boot altogether. Look at what you claim to be a piece of cloth. Front of the boot is a white strap, and it's not pink. This strap buckle is not pink. And look at the text on the left. There is no white eyeball or black pupil. Now, Pattern, comparing this boot with the previous two I showed you, where one had a white heel lift strap and the other had a black heel lift strap, this one hasn't got a strap at all for a heel lift. It's got a string. So we've got three different boots here, Pattern. They're not forming a regular pattern, are they, Pattern? There you are, Paul Pattern. That evidence I provided there really puts the icing on the cake as far as this pink flamingo is concerned, and it's the end of the matter. Okay? Now, let me say here, Pattern, I am fed up with talking to sock puppets or cartoon characters. I prefer man-to-man, face-to-face, ID to ID, like the Australian government is pushing for. Have you got that, YouTube? You're bound to be watching this. True identities, that's all you should be having on YouTube. And that, like the Australian government says, will get rid of all these insults and threats on YouTube. So, a Pattern. Now, as I pointed out, saying by the great detective Sherlock Holmes, from what your eyes see, what does your brain deduce? The brilliant expat Taffy is prepared to say that from what my eyes see, my brain deduces that that pink object in the footpad is a deliberate whistleblower's clue of a pink flamingo inserted with Photoshop to tell us the photo is fake. And like I've told you before, Pattern, they had a knack of providing an extra nearby clue. And that nearby clue is what I missed before but spotted now, and that is the boots are different. One has got a white pull strap, heel pull strap up, and the other has got a black one. They're not the same astronaut in the footpad to the one on the ladder. Now that's exactly what I showed with Mr. Bean on Apollo 12 ladder. They're not genuine astronauts on the ladder. They are copied and pasted previous taken photos. That's why you've got the shine on the boot in the footpad and you haven't got it on any of the ones up above, because the one in the footpad was taken elsewhere under a spotlight. Okay, Pattern? There you are, Paul Pattern. Now my challenge to you is make a response to this video trying to disprove what I have displayed here, and do it in your own name and show your face, and use your voice instead of like you've done with your video here, muting it. Why that was done, I don't know. But let's have you do the same, and you commit yourself to saying, from what your eyes see, your brain deduces that the yellow object in that footpad is a piece of white cloth, like you claim in this video of yours. Okay, Pattern, let's see if you've got the balls and the brains to do that. And for the other numpties, Phase 52, Joan Evans, Cleric 58, and the other moron, Cornelius Crew, a little reminder of what I have just shown here. Now, Phase 52 and Joan Evans and Cleric 58, we've got the person who made the photos giving us the same clue here in Apollo 11 as he did in Apollo 12. What he's showing here is the astronaut in the footpad is not the same as the astronaut on the ladder. On the footpad, the heel pull tag is white. On the ladder, it is black. The boots are different. He's telling us it's not the same astronaut on the ladder to the astronaut in the footpad. And we've got exactly the same he done with Apollo 12. Take a look at them. There you are, Pattern, Phase 52, Cleric 58, Joan Evans. The same clues, virtually, in Apollo 12. Two clues. One is the black square on the pack, and the other is the height of the top of the pack to the helmet, top of the helmet on the astronaut. Again, the same message, the astronaut in the footpad is not the same astronaut as on the ladder. And two clues telling us that. Definitely, fake photos are not taken on the moon.